How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's Two Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything
Hi guys.
and Roger from Roger's Shop.
I was
Howdy,
just
howdy.
reading some comments in the chat here, which are interesting. Well, one
Hello
of them
from
is interesting.
South Carolina.
Philip,
Chris
Yep,
said
down
good day
under.
from.
Chris,
Go ahead. You guys want to read it? Go ahead.
no,
First down under.
Seeing our regulars. It's nice to see everyone. If you have any questions, for sure, let us know. Let us know.
Chris needed 2 good days to make sure he was covered.
I have tried to work on getting an Australian accent to say good day, and I guess I just haven't perfected it yet.
So I
Maybe
gotta
some-
ask.
maybe some lessons.
Well,
I gotta ask, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but as a kid, I loved the movie Crocodile Dundee.
Oh
So
yeah.
is that like for as an Australian, like you hated that movie or did you love that movie? I gotta ask. Because I loved Crocodile Dundee.
It
Oh, I
did-
loved it too.
it did great things to promote Foster's beer in North America. Well, at least in Canada for a while there. Now I think it's pretty hard to find, but because people realized after Dundee disappeared that the beer was actually not that great. There's a lot of better Australian beers.
Yeah, but you can still get them around here though. They call them the oil can.
Yeah, you can still get them. It's just nobody drinks them anymore. But there are other Australian beers that people will drink.
He gave Rocky a run for his money for his knife, right? You call that a knife? This is a knife.
This is a knife. Yeah.
Yeah. Rick said, "I'm ready to learn before I forget." So I'm sure we're all getting to that age that you walk into a room and you're like, "Why did I come in here?" That's happening more often now.
I did that tonight. I went into we have a big pantry and I was standing in the pantry and I got there and it was like, why the hell am I here? And I actually had to go back out into the kitchen and figure out what I was doing so I could go back into the pantry to get what I needed. Man, getting old sucks.
Kevin says, "How are things down under where the spiders will drag you into there for a snack?"
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. See, I think that's a stereotype for sure.
It's getting to be
like all the Canadians play hockey. We don't all play hockey, but
don't lie. Yes, they do.
Spring, of course, it's getting to be springtime now down under. We're getting into fall and getting snow, so it's getting to be spring down there.
So Steve, I sarcastically say, "Don't lie, they do." And the reason I say that is because when I went to grade school in Canada, I was so surprised that all the kids bring skates, and on recess there was the ice skating rink outside of the school, and they actually skated. So when I came back to
because
Chicago,
we were in Elliott Lake, man. It's like it starts to freeze in July there.
when I came back to Chicago, I think I was the only Mexican who knew how to ice skate. It was like when I ice skated, the whole neighborhood just stared at me like, "Aren't you scared?"
I watched last year. I watched my neighbor try to build a backyard rink for his kid, but every day here, it's like at some point it gets close to freezing, right? So it's just every day he was out there putting water on it, and it just wasn't freezing. So.
Yeah, my wife keeps asking me to do the same, and I tell her it ain't gonna work.
One of my friends down in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, sent me a message Monday morning. "It's freezing down here." Got up this morning, it was 68 degrees.
Wow, that's pretty cold for Mexico.
Yeah, that is pretty cold for down there. And
unless you're in like Mexico City, it can get cool there.
No, in Playa del Carmen, that's pretty much unheard of. Generally, your wake up temperature in the morning is in the 70s.
You're looking a little green, Roger.
Well, that's because I don't have my studio lights.
Oh, okay.
My lighting I've been doing photo shoots for Christmas for people and portraits and that, and I did a big photo shoot last night, and all my studio lights are still in my truck because running all over with the wife today for doctor's appointments. I didn't have time to get set up, so it's just ambient can lights that are in the ceiling down here tonight.
A different type of photo shoot than Steve normally does.
Well, he told me he was going on a photo shoot, and I was getting ready to go down to the local store to buy the latest edition of GQ to see him on the cover. Yeah, I have fabulous lighting. I gotta say, for good reason. So this comment was the one I was reading.
Go ahead then. Read it.
Just Alan Jones says he had an interesting week. Last Wednesday during the podcast, his Apple Watch alerted him that he had a heart issue. I've had this happen, and it's terrifying. After a few days in the cardiac unit, I'm back to another podcast. While we're happy about that, I didn't
Yep.
have to go to the cardiac unit, but it is like I was watching television, and all of a sudden I get this buzzing alarm thing on my watch, and it's like you're about to die, and it's like, holy shit.
Were you watching porn? Be honest.
No, I was watching some bad movie.
Exactly.
It wasn't
Some bad
porn.
movie.
I mean like a bad Hollywood movie.
Oh,
I forget
okay.
what it was, but it was terrible. Hey, Jim.
TTC 1940. Good evening you from Chicago in Roger and R's backyard. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So I gotta ask again, what's the story with the Indiana Jones, man? I mean, not with why did I say Indiana Jones? Why am I lost for words? What was his name? Crocodile Dundee. People from
I'm sure
Australia,
it'll
were
pop
you
up in the
fans of them or
comments.
not?
Chris no doubt has wonderful things to say about Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, boom chakalaka boom.
I got my son saying that all the time. Boom shakalaka. That's funny.
I guess he's too young to watch Stripes.
Yeah.
He can learn a few things on that movie.
Yeah, probably some things he shouldn't know for another 5 or 10 years.
Like, that's a fact, Jack.
Ordinary Woodworker said hello from Portland, Oregon. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Oh wow.
Oh, there you go. You just glossed right over it. Chris said he loved it. I assume he's talking about Crocodile Dundee.
Perfecto. Nice one.
I'm shocked actually, because normally people from a country where they make a movie like that will go, "Oh, that's a stereotype. We don't."
That's why I said it. Yeah, like, is it? You know,
I don't know. It was kind of a classic.
I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was awesome. That's one of those movies I watched over and over again. That and that movie. You guys remember Batteries Not Included?
Yep.
That's a classic, man. He said he's on a heart monitor, doing better. But man, glad to hear. Glad to hear.
Man. Hey.
I guess it's good to find out early than find out late, right?
Yeah, it's better to find out too early than too late.
Exactly.
Oh,
Paul is back.
Yeah.
Paul says, "Good morning from darkest Belgium."
I wonder if he's getting. I wonder if the Northern Lights are getting clear over to Europe, because I was looking at the polar thing this morning. I mean, we're getting a hell of a show here in the Northern Lights. I mean, the sky is just all red and green. They're just brilliant in the north.
Today's the brightest day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife took some photos last night, and it was all right. But tonight, usually where I live, anytime there's a celestial event of any sort, it's cloudy. It's just how it is.
Like what Chris says here. Foster's beer is a beer we make for those that like weak beer. Aussies don't drink it. You know, it's the same thing about, Corona.
Yes.
It's a very popular beer. Mexicans don't drink it for the most part.
Yeah, I bet they don't drink Dos Equis either.
Corona in Mexico is like Busch in the United States. It's the cheapest beer you can buy.
It's pretty cheap here too.
Well, my go-to beer when I'm in Mexico is Superior, Victoria, and Indigo.
What about Sol? You like Sol?
Yeah, Sol's okay.
Sol's not bad.
Sol Tecate. In fact, the guy that our friend that we get the condo from down there has always got a 12-pack of Tecate Light in there for me, so I can watch my belly.
Here you go, Roger. Here's a follow-up comment to your comment.
Yeah, I think Aussies drink warm beer too. Actually, I can drink warm beer. If you're ever in Germany, that is actually quite common.
Well, most of Europe, right? It's like, even in the UK, it's like it's in the basement. Like they have the thing in the basement, the keg in the basement, but it's usually like 18 Celsius. So what's that, about 65 degrees or something?
Yeah,
So
you're
it's
not
not
going to.
it's not cold, but it's not terribly warm either.
Chris says, "Oh no, that's Palms. I'm not sure what that is. They drink it at room temp, but room temp it's cold." Well, yeah, room temperature beer is okay. I don't like it if it's been sitting in the sun for an hour.
What? No, there's no room temp anywhere in Australia is cold.
Yeah. Radui said, "Happy birthday, Rick. Thank you. Thank you. I turned 46 this Saturday.
Wow, you're an old geezer.
I'm getting there. 50's
You know,
right around the corner.
I really wouldn't mind being 46.
Yeah, me too. It'll seem like no time at all. You'll be sitting on the porch in your rocking chair yelling at kids to get off your lawn.
I
I
already
don't really
do
have
that.
that problem where I live. I don't really
Yeah,
have
but you're
any
not
neighbors.
46.
Yeah. So Jody said, "Oh, warm beer is horrid." I agree with you on that one. I will not drink a warm beer.
Depends on the beer. Depends on the beer.
Yeah. Well, Ordinary Woodworker said, "Well, room temp is warm for me. I like a frozen beer." I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I do.
What is
I
it?
do like
Coors
mine
that
cold.
has like it turns blue when the mountains when it's actually optimal temperature, whatever.
Yeah,
And not that Coors is like a great beer or anything, but
You
they
can't
figured out
just
that
feel the
labeling.
can and go, yeah, okay, it's cold. Let's talk about stereotypes.
Yeah, Justin Jones said it's awesome. The hospital here is first class. That's good to hear because sometimes it can be rough.
yeah. The colder the better.
Yeah, North American beers in general they're sort of pre-designed to be cold.
Tony said hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, another regular.
Yeah,
Hey,
Waterloo,
Bobby.
Iowa. Not too far from me. Fish Lake, Indiana.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
back. We talked about Fish Lake last week.
I still gotta visit this Fish Lake once in a while. That sounds like an interesting place.
Chris says Crocodile Dundee is just a regular bushy.
Probably, right? He doesn't seem too glamorous, right? Just like a normal dude that just probably got lucky. Was he in movies before that movie?
I don't think. Well, not in North America anyway.
That's what sometimes makes a good actor. They're not acting, right? Look at The Rock. He just plays himself in every movie, no matter what movie he's in. They don't even change his name.
See, I say that about Nicolas Cage, and there's a few of them that are like that.
Yeah, he's not acting. He's just being himself.
Billy Bob Thornton is another one. It's just like he comes in off the street. He just says what he was going to say anyway, and then he leaves. And
Now, Chris saying we're talking about the northern lights here. You can see them in Perth, right as they can get out of the light pollution. Yeah, I know about the light pollution because when I try to look north, the city is directly north of us, and all the light pollution goes up to. I mean, the sky is white all night.
But he gets to look at the Aurora Australis.
Yeah.
Sanders Lady from Graven said, "Good evening. Hey, brother. Sorry, man. I've just been beat, but I'm back, man. So I'll be sending you your camera soon. I'll throw it in my truck, so I remember to drop it off at UPS on the way home from work. Got you, bro." What is this? Moses?
That's a new one?
Hey, y'all.
N6B.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Thanks
welcome.
for joining.
Yeah, love soul beer. Of course, you gotta have the lime in it.
Yeah. See, I don't drink beer with a lime.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, like you can't drink a Corona without a lime in it.
Oh no, you have to drink a Corona with a lime because that's the only way it tastes good. You need salt and lime.
Yeah, but Sol's the same way. I can't.
Yeah. See, Modelo to me tastes like a fixed up Corona. Like it has like a nice flavor to it. And beer in general doesn't taste good, right? You just get used to it. It's like wine, other than a sweet wine. Wine's kind of like
you learn to tolerate it so you don't get judged by your friends.
Right. You know, and nobody really likes sweet wine because it'll give you a damn headache, right? Like, yeah, it tastes good, but you know.
Kevin says he's got a quick question. He's Got an F1 Ultra doing metal business cards. And he wants to know if he can engrave he can engrave one side, no problem. But when I do the back, it will not engrave anything.
Really?
What would be the difference? I assume you got this in a jig or something and you can just flip the card over, but there's no reason unless no. I mean,
are they anodized both sides?
Yeah, well, they're not even anodized; they're just painted,
powder coated.
That shouldn't make a difference at all.
The only thing I could think of is there's some on the front side, or maybe it's in the G code for the back side.
The only other
moving
thing
it off focus or something, but
is there something set up wrong with your layers? Can you open the file like two separate files? Do you have two separate image? Like, I know you're probably, if you're using Lightburn or you're using Xtool software. I don't know much about the Xtool software.
On a F1, you're probably going to be using XCS. Well, Xtool Studio now, but
does it have layers so you could have front and back? Or you have to open two separate files?
There's a few questions here. Like when you turn it over to the other side, can you see the beam hitting the card, or is there just nothing going on? Because if there's nothing going on, maybe there's no layers turned on.
Yeah, I think it's a layer issue.
If you can see the beam but it's not engraving, then something has to be pulling it off focus between engraving the front side and starting the job on the back side.
Beam me up, Lazy Engraving said, "Hello, everyone. As a fellow Australian, I wrestle crocodiles to catch the bus to work."
Probably stomps on a few snakes.
You just automatically a Billy Badass if you're from Australia. Bobby said, "I would love to see 46 again."
Well, we got a thing going on here in the United States, down south, where the iguanas are falling out of the trees. Is it too cold?
Yeah, it's cold.
Or did you see
there was a story? There was a story last year, or the year before, where some lady found one, like it was rigid because it's close to freezing, and she picked it up and threw it in the back of her car in the back seat, and then she was going to take it home, and of course it's warm in the car, and this thing kind of came back to life and got a little rowdy in the back seat.
Oh.
Yeah, they said squirrels are starting to eat meat. They're attacking those lizards and eating them. They've never seen that before.
Wow, carnivorous squirrels. That can't be good.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Dad joke.
You can't just eat nuts, man. It'll just drive you crazy.
Sandals Living Great said, "Shout out to Chris Gallagher for his suggestion to move my Lightburn camera USB from the hub directly to the computer. I did lose the camera the last few days."
It's really not good to use a hub when you're trying to do something like that.
And if you are using the hub, if you are using the hub, you'd want to make sure it's at least a powered one that you have to plug in, so it's not switching the losing so much amps.
Yeah, the problem when you put it in a hub is, like, if it's like a 4-port hub or an 8-port hub, you're taking the input signal on USB, which is a serial bandwidth, and you're dividing it by that number of ports, right? So instead of, I don't know what USB, depending on what
the bus rate you're saying, right?
But yeah, but instead of getting 4 megabits or whatever it is, you're probably getting 1. Which, if you're pushing 1024 video or even higher, it's going to be not enough, right? So,
yeah,
like you're pushing it at even 720p.
Yep, agreed.
Yep, you got to go full bore, or you put in a 10 the USB ports with the red connector on the input side, like a Thunderbolt port. Then you can get 4 proper channels out of USB.
Right, but now you're talking a $200.
I mean, you can't go to Walmart and buy one for $10. That's for sure.
Yeah. Kevin said, "I remember 46 a decade ago." Wow.
Come visit Belgium for the beer. Too much choice. There is a Belgian beer. I can't remember the name of it that I do like.
Lots of them.
Yeah, Rick, you're still a youngin'.
I'm paying my dues. I'm paying my dues, man.
Good evening from Alabama. That's where my wife's from.
Nice.
Winston County, Alabama. Yeah, Chris says, beat me up. I hunt croc with a camera.
The camera. Yeah.
Yeah, names are back to normal for the most part.
Well, some of them. So Tim Sands, who may or may not be on tonight, he sent me a link to a YouTube, like a video from YouTube that actually explained what was going on there, and it sounds like eventually everybody's going to lose the proper names, and we're all going to go to ats because they don't want this. Oh, there's Tim right there. Actually, his comment just popped up. Yeah, so it's just a matter of time. I guess I just got updated before you guys, and there you go. Tim says, he's thanking you for reminding him about your 46th birthday. His 40th anniversary is coming up soon. He could potentially be your father. And I've met him. He doesn't look that old. He looks like he's maybe 50. He certainly looks younger than I do. I appreciate somebody who can remember their wedding anniversary. My wife and I, we were out for a walk back in October is when our anniversary is. And I said, hey, isn't today our anniversary? And she went, yeah, I think so.
You know,
we miss it almost every year.
My wife and I's anniversary was this past week. It was November 9th. It was our 29th. And both of us forgot.
Yeah, we do all the time. I actually had to put it, well, we both did. We put it in our phone so it reminds us on the day, but clearly we didn't get it this year. So where'd Rick go? Man, what a slacker.
Yeah.
Beam me up, laser engraving says, Chris, I have a pet crocodile that hunts shrimp for my barbecue. Barbie. You have to say Barbie. Oh, well, he's already Australian.
Yeah, you got shrimp on the Barbie.
My crocodile's name is Dodo. Same settings. Kevin Rich says, same settings for what? Where did we miss?
That's with that card he's trying to engrave on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, right. I guess the next question is, are you using XCS or Lightburn? But on an F1, you probably are using XCS. I have had, not recently, but I have had XCS do funny things to layers, and sometimes it messes up the orders, and sometimes it just doesn't play something. So maybe you're just hitting one. Just recreate the file from scratch and just copy the graphics back in there, and it might be okay.
I had a little thing with XCS this past week, and I don't know if it was just a fluke. I set up an array to actually do a bunch of these right here, snowflakes. And it set we're looking at the screen, it's all perfect. And I ran the laser, and it like overlapped everything.
I've had that happen too.
I mean, the whole sheet,
weird stuff, right? It just sometimes
the whole sheet ended up being scrapped. So
generally, when my laser just acts completely nuts, I restart my computer, and it's because I don't know the last time I restarted it.
Yeah, like I've had Lightburn get confused too, and you have to restart Lightburn.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like it's running okay.
My battery died on me. Sorry, so it kicked me out for a second.
I wondered where you went, but now you're not in sync anymore.
Am I off?
Yeah. Yeah, by about 4 seconds.
What the heck? Hold on.
Starting to look like Milli Vanilli.
I'll be right back.
So Jim is asking me, I did the upgrade for the Omni X to 10 or 12 watts. Officially, it's 12 watts, I guess. Is there one plan for the Omni 1? I do not believe so. But I don't speak for ComMarker. However, I do definitely like the. I don't know if anybody has seen that video yet. I just put it out today, so I'll show you. I'll show you this. One of the things, if I can get myself out of the picture, one of the things that they can do now is support 3D OBJ files, which are like STLs with shading on them with texture, and in effect, you can get grayscale inside the 3D internal engraving, which is like super cool. And I didn't even know it could do that. So it might be something new. I don't know. You missed that, Rick.
What's that?
You missed my Harry Potter cube.
Oh, sorry, man.
Little Harry Potter. If I can get myself out of the picture here. God, my camera is so intent on focusing on my eyes. So, and that's actually textured. So you can see his eyes are engraved, but they're dark. If you can see that.
Looks cool.
Which is super cool. Like it's just.
How big is that cube?
So this is a 2-inch cube.
So how much is that blank?
I don't know. It was like $4 or something, $5.
So what do you think realistically you could sell something
Harry
engraved
Potter?
from that
Probably
size?
nothing, but
No, not necessarily Harry Potter.
so I mean these are really for B2B type stuff, right? Like if somebody
Right.
says, "Hey, I want a bunch of recognition awards or something like that," in which case you're going to sell them for a ton.
Right. So to me, volume would be that, but then to a person, not necessarily to a business, it'd probably be a memorial, right?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
But a memorial, they generally are willing to pay a little bit more.
Yeah. Like I mean, I've put photos in them, like just a flat photo, not a 3D thing, and those are popular. Awards, like recognition awards. I actually just threw one together for my original OmniX video. But definitely corporate stuff. They're good for that.
How does it look with a light underneath it? Is it
I actually had a light underneath it there.
Oh, okay.
Just a little flashlight.
Okay, cool.
I got to get my eyes out of the picture. So
Nice.
Actually blow that up. Make me big. Make me feel big. So, do I have them backwards? No. So it's actually pretty nice. And I mean, they engrave reasonably quick. Like that one was, I don't know, 15 minutes or a little less.
I think it was cool. You could see some textured, like layered look on the leaf as well.
Yeah. It's definitely like the leaf on screen was a little lighter tint at the top than the bottom in the texture, and you can't really see it on camera because it just amplifies everything, but you can actually see it in the cube that it's a little bit lighter up at the top. It's very neat actually that they can do it. It's cool. And there's tons of OBJ type files if you go to like 3dfree dot whatever it is .net or .com, I'm not sure. There's just lots of that stuff out there. So
well, let's just get back to that business card again here, Steve. So
okay. So he's using Xtool Studio, 2 separate files. Yeah, that's not unusual. Properly set up. I'd say just recreate well, there's 2 questions, I guess. So if you just started with the backside.
That's what I was going to say. Reverse it to see if it does.
Does it engrave or is it that file that's messed up? And if it does engrave, then there's, I don't know what to think after that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Reverse.
But if it doesn't engrave, I'd say recreate. Just copy open that file in XCS, create a new file because you can have multiple tabs. Copy the graphics to the new file, do all the settings again, and then delete the old file.
Yeah, maybe something got corrupted.
Well, I've had to do that actually. I haven't had it happen though in Xtool Studio. I've had it happen in XCS.
Well, Chris is saying the best beer I ever tasted is a Czech Pilsner. Yeah. And yes. And I try to remember the name of it right offhand. because when I did a job, was sent over to Europe, and I spent a whole week in the Czech Republic, and that I drank a lot of that over there.
Yeah, two things the Czechs know about: beer and barbecued pork. Well, I don't even know if it's barbecued, but it's pork. And if you're, Jewish or Muslim, I feel sorry for you because, man, it's delicious.
Roger, you
So
want to take this?
Brad is asking thoughts on the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. I am not familiar with. Oh, I know what it is, but I don't have one, so I can't say anything about it. On sale for $363. Support good at Elegoo. There again, I can't answer that because I haven't dealt with Elegoo. Don't see a dryer for it. Probably just get a Sunloo box. Nothing wrong with those. They work great. Don't think I'll be doing multicolor anytime soon. So now, Elegoo has never approached me to work with any of their printers. I don't know why, but they just haven't. Maybe they're afraid I'll badmouth
The
them
only
like
thing, the Elegoo doesn't really seem to promote too much through creators. They did ask me about. They have a laser. They did ask me about that a while back, like a long time ago, but not 3D printers usually.
Anyone who was debating on getting Opus clip, I know we use that to create a lot of clips. It's 67% off. They just charged me $113.97 for the full year.
It's not bad. I'm hit or miss on Opus Clip.
To me, Opus clip is great, but you can't just use it as it edits it. You definitely have to reframe and move the.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that actually. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And because it's all scaled down, the video is scaled down. It all tends to look terrible. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's certain videos I've even skipped just because it's like.
Yeah, like I wish they would support 4K on the stream. They did for a while, and then it just disappeared again.
Yeah, because I think what am I right now? I think I'm. Let me check. 1080p.
Yeah, that's as high as it goes.
Yeah.
Which, if you divide by 4, potentially 4, is like you're looking at like a 320p kind of signal, right? So it's very grainy and.
Well, supposedly it's 1080p per, but who knows if
Yeah,
that's
except that the whole frame when it's exported is 1080p.
I get you. Yeah, true.
So you're dividing it by, cutting it into quarters.
The one thing that I did notice though is because we all have different audio settings, that the audio cleanup is definitely a must because it sounds totally like different. Like you could be pristine clean and I could be off, or vice versa. So,
Yeah.
And it could be an export thing. I'm not sure, but I definitely had to clean up more audio, or I clean up all their audios, but the video not as much, just reframing.
Yeah, well, audio is probably more important anyway, but
yeah.
So Joe, back up there a little bit.
We didn't
read that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Whoops.
So Jody says, just watched my blue tongue family cross my garden.
I don't get
it.
He's going to have to explain. Blue tongue, is it like a bird or something? I'm gonna start looking things up.
Red is asking, I know Bamboo Labs have their own software that people seem to like, and I do like it. Yeah. What does Elegoo have and use? I can say, since you have an Elegoo printer, I cannot say.
What Chris said, I love my credit card and I have a what is it? Sunfu, feeding it directly.
Sunloo. I use Sunloo filament too for a lot of stuff. I ordered some bamboo filament yesterday, but
I assumed CC was credit card, but then I'm thinking you mean Creality.
Probably CC. Oh, Centauri Carbon.
Okay.
He has one of these.
Yeah,
Santa
Santa's
Cruz.
laser grid says it was powered by a hub with 7 ports.
Oof.
Like Steve
Yeah.
said, apparently too many connections coming to
Yeah.
one
And
computer connection.
yeah, and the thing is with a USB hub, even if there's nothing plugged into it, the signal, basically the maximum bandwidth gets divided by 7 in this case. I have a couple of hubs where I can turn individual ports off. So I can turn it into a 2-port hub if I want to. And that helps, but they
I've
tend to
never
be
seen that
big
before. That's
and
pretty
you
cool.
have to plug them in. So
Redui said, Chris, Luke seems like a good price, especially for the enclosed. There you go.
Core XY.
yep. Core XY is the way to go these days. 61. Oh, I guess this is the number of years he's been married. Can't be. Are you 60 or are you married? You can't be married 61 because there's no way you're as old as that.
You must have been a child, Tim.
Yeah. Robbed from the cradle. Hey, Andrew, are you back in God's country or are you still on a plane somewhere? You missed
Chris
it
said, I
last
always
week,
make sure
Roger.
my
Andrew was calling
anniversaries
us
are
from, he was so dedicated, he was calling us from the plane.
Yes. Chris said, I always make sure my anniversaries are close to my birthday. It's easy to remember. That's my wife's and I's. Someone gave my wife this like custom pottery, and it has our anniversary date in it. Now let's look at the date.
But how do you control this? It's like do you wake up and go, sorry, dear, we're gonna have to get a divorce because my birthday's too far away from our anniversary?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a tough one. I guess you have to know that going in to the relationship.
Well, ordinary woodworker saying, Radu, I have 2 Elegoo Centauri carbons, no issue. Love them. They're workhorses.
How did they get away with putting carbon in the name without Bamboo suing them?
Yeah. And Chris is saying he's heard of XCS having problems occasionally with array and column and row spacing. I didn't even bother to do a restart. I just went to move the file over and did it on my longer B1.
Gave up.
Well, I was in a time crunch. I didn't have time to keep screwing around with it.
Kevin appreciated my video today, the upgrade for the Omni X. Thanks, Kevin. It's
Nice.
I did have some problems with it. So my original laser is a prototype. So when I first installed the laser module, there was no little red dot and there was no way to autofocus, and I reached out to ComMarker and they said, well, just plug in the sensor cable. And I said, what sensor cable? I don't have one of those. Oh, okay, we're going to have to send you a cable. So I actually had to take my laser apart and upgrade it to a production model so I could get the sensor cable. After that, it worked fine.
Yelp Creations. I got a 10/12 watt in now too. Looking forward to trying the OBG files. Have a Crowdy 3D, Roger's favorite scanner that has high things object files. Great video, by the way, Steve.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I was a little confused actually because they told me it was a 10-watt laser, but when you look on their site at the upgrade, it says it's a 12-watt laser. And I said, okay, which is it? And they said, well, technically we sell it as a 10, but the output power is actually over 12. Okay, well. But yeah, the OBJ files are actually really easy to create because you really don't have to do anything. And they look pretty cool.
You're up, Roger.
Oh, Santa's asked me, nice shirt today, Roger. Where'd you say get yours from? Wrote it down and can't find it now. Not the one tonight, but a lot of the ones I get comes from a company called daycheck.com. That's ADAYCHIC.com. The one they're not a sponsor. The one I have on tonight, I bought when I was in Belize City down in Belize, Central America.
Nice.
Genuine.
Yep.
Ordinary Woodworker said, I've not needed to reach out to Igloo support, so I can't say. They released a statement that they are scalping their multicolor for CC2. Scrapping, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence with multicolor, honestly. I mean, sure, but
I mean, it's neat, and I do a few things with it, but it creates a lot of poop.
yeah, well, it's less if you have two nozzles, but
so Roger,
but I mean, like I have, like we were talking before we went live, and I have two AMS 2 Pros on my Bamboo, and really what they are is just a way for me to store a bunch of filaments that I use a lot. I don't actually do color very often.
So let me ask you, Roger, the whole idea of doing the when you're jumping a bunch of those colors, is that would you like with those what are those dragons or those flexible toys? Is that kind of what you're using that when you would jump back and forth between colors? You seem to create a lot of poop.
Well, I haven't got too many things here on the desk, but like these coasters. Whoops. You know, there's 3 colors on that. Yeah, 3 colors on that coaster. So, you know, white, you got green, you got blue. Well, every time it goes to that part of the layer, it has to go and purge the filament that's in the nozzle, then switch to the next color. And then when it's done with that color, it's got to purge that and flip back, go to the next color. And then when you get the next, it just keeps repeating, and you end up with a bunch of printer poop.
So that's
when
on
it has the dual head, it doesn't do that. Right?
Well, the dual head would give you 2 colors.
Yeah, but if you had white in one of them, then the other 2 colors you could switch, right?
Yeah.
Actually, though, so one of the cool things about the Bamboo slicer is it looks at your job and it will tell you how to organize the filaments in if you have 2 AMSs.
Oh, that's
it tells
cool.
you put the white one here and the green one here and the blue one in one or the other of them to maximize the efficiency of it. It's actually pretty cool. Like they did a really nice job on it. So in that case, it might tell you to put the white and the blue in one AMS and the green in another or something.
So I'll be joining the 3D Print Club. I announced that before we went live. So you guys will see my I'll be officially the Bamboo Clan with Steve and Roger. So we'll see that soon.
Now, having said I don't print multicolor very often, I will kick off the official Christmas season with my little Christmas tree here. And it was printed with black and white. And then the blue star is actually something that gets printed separately. So I'm actually going to print some green ones. I had white. That's why it's white. It was either going to be white or orange.
Well, it snowed on it, so it's white.
Yeah. It was the best color I had at the time. But I'll print a couple of green ones.
Raddy's asking Chris Gallagher, an ordinary woodworker, what software do you use for sulfuric carbon? And Chris says, Elegoo to me seem to rely on word of mouth as their primary marketing. Either it's working well or they have limited production. No?
Could be both, but
no.
But yeah, I mean, they seem to be fairly quiet, all things considered. Elegoo Slicer, I think, is Orca Slicer, I think. They all use Orca Slicer. Like Bamboo's is Orca Slicer too, right?
There you go, Steve.
Beam Me Up Laser Engraving says, just for laughs, new video suggestion for me. What did I do? Build a ridiculously large 3D print. Title, I built a carbon fiber carb on it with a 3D printer. Yeah, you can be the new Mr. Beast and then laser engrave it. Somebody did a like a life-size benchy and then wanted to sell it. It's like, okay, that's a lot of printing.
Oh, I watched that gal. She's some kind of engineer. I watched that video, and that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's like, Why? At some point, you just buy a boat. Of course, having said that, I did print a pair of shoes this week, so
So do you have them handy? Can we see
I
it?
I can get them.
All right.
Let me go on an adventure.
Lizards and actual blue lizards with an actual blue tongue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Centauri carbon. Yeah. Elegoo has its own software based on Orca. A lot of the developers now are basing their slicing software on Orca. Lizards and a she.
I won't ask how you know, but we'll just leave that one alone.
So Elegoo Centauri can use their own flavor of Orca slicer, but it can also use Orca slicer. Well, I can also use Orca slicer with bamboo because I did not upgrade to their new firmware.
So, Roger, let me ask you this: the slicer, it basically is the program that creates the layers, correct? So that's
It
why
creates a,
certain slicers are
cre-
proprietary to certain.
it creates a G code that sends it to the printer.
Okay. So then how come only? So technically, couldn't any slicer work with anyone, or no? Because the way it creates a G code.
Now, there has to be a preface and a whatever the hell you call the end of the. What do you call the end of a file? You get the preface for the
Suffix?
beginning.
I don't know.
Yeah, suffix. There we go. You got a preface and a suffix, and it has to be able to write that to the whether it be a printer or a CNC or a laser.
But you can, in most slicers, you can configure all that stuff. And odds are good that somebody will have done it already. And you can
So,
just
Steve,
download
the question is that for the most part, you can use any slicer for any 3D printer. For the most part,
pretty much. Like some have, well, like the bamboo has multiple colors, right? So there will be some G code for colors changing and that kind of thing. So you can configure all of this stuff in especially Orca Slicer.
All right, let's see the shoes.
Well, I brought one. Look at that,
hold on
baby.
a second. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're gonna bring me large again? So not my design, but it's all TPU. Very nice, actually. They're quite comfortable. Really squishy. Like the heel is about, I don't know, probably 2 inches thick, 1.5 inches thick. Makes me tall. Was that a clap? Jeez, how tacky, man.
Did you like that one, Steve?
It sounded tacky. Anyway, yeah, I needed I told my wife I was going to print some relax shoes and just wear them around the shop. So they're
what are the Crocs? I've seen a lot of people print Crocs.
Yeah.
But I was surprised, and I've even seen people print the what's his name? Kanye West shoes. Those crazy looking rubber shoes.
Oh, yeah.
They're so ugly. They look like they're from space. I don't know. You definitely are trying to make a statement wearing those shoes.
Yeez or something, right?
I don't know what the heck they're called. Phil said Allegro Central can use their own flavor of Orca Slicer. But so basically that's what we're saying, basically saying the same thing as before. Like,
yeah, so like in the case of Elegoo or Bamboo's the same thing. What they've done to make it their own is they've built all of that configuration for the printer, and then they just package it up.
So it's pre-configured.
Yeah, it's basically Orca Slicer with their driver in it.
Nice.
Hey, Andrew. He eventually landed in the hell that is the Toronto airport. Yeah, I feel your pain for that. But
I'll be glad you're not flying inside the United States right now. We've got a little bit of a shortage of people that know what the hell they're doing. So
that kind of boggles my mind that they even let airplanes go up when
60%. They cut 60% of all flights in the United States, 15% of all flights within the Chicagoland area.
That's got to be a nightmare for business.
I can't put up any structures because I can't get any FAA approvals, they're closed. So all my work, it
I'm
was
glad
all
I
these
live in the-
structures. I'm screwed.
Oh, here
Yeah.
we go. So Tim has clarified. He's been married 40 years and he's 61. So we're actually the same age, in which case I look way better than you do, Tim. Well, you know, clean life, right?
There you go.
Chris says, Steve, it's a long-term planning to get anniversaries to sync with your birthdays. Yeah. Like, you know, especially if you want your kid's birthday, like, you know, have all your kids so they're born on Christmas Day, and then you only have to buy one present. And
So I've been married to my wife for 29 years.
oh, you're doing all right.
So pretty crazy.
That's where we just hit was 29 years.
Yeah.
I'm on the
That's
second
cool.
one for 26 years or something.
Well, this is my second one too, but
I tried to get a second one, but she wouldn't do it.
She wouldn't go for it.
Can't blame me for trying.
Well, you can always get a second one, but you have to buy a new house too.
I was trying to get a 2-for-1 deal, you know? It didn't work out for me.
the Elf Gracious says had the same thing with the sensor cable, just arrived a few days ago.
Yeah, this is the same problem I had with the autofocus on the OmniX 10 watt. Yeah, the back of the module says 10 watts, but they're selling it as a 12, which is, as Velv says here, it's confusing. Yeah, so Chris says diodes are generally 5.5. They're like 5.73 or some crazy thing. But the UVs aren't, they're not diode lasers, not in the same sense that blue diode lasers are.
You're up, Steve.
Brad, who says he rewatched my FiberSeek video. Can you expand on your thoughts about carbon fiber? You mentioned yeah. So if you buy normal 3D print filament that says it's CF, really what they do is they take a bunch of carbon fiber, they chop it up into almost dust, and they put it into filament. It's like the ultimate marketing gimmick because it's very, very marginally stronger than regular filament. In the case of the Fiber Seeker, what they do is inject the like actual real carbon fiber filament inside a melted bit of regular filament. So it could be PETG or PLA or something. And you're actually getting solid carbon fiber when it gets laid down. So it's substantially stronger. I read the numbers. I think like a regular 3D print is like, I don't know, 3 megapascals, and regular CF filament brings that up to 7.
How's the price difference? That seems like it's pretty involved to create that if they're doing that. Inject molding into a tube.
It's actually not that bad. It's a fairly clean, simple design, but the pieces that get printed with continuous carbon fiber, these things are like 900 megapascals. Like you could drive a truck over these things.
Just don't try to look at the Titanic.
Well, yeah. Well, that would probably actually stop an iceberg, but that's sheer strength though, right? So, you know, it's quite a bit different. Now, price-wise, I think the Fiber Seeker is not a whole lot more than something like a bamboo. It's cheaper, I think, than the H2D, but it's got 2 nozzles, but you don't really.
It looks like you're on a roll, Steve.
Way. What's that?
Looks like you're on a roll. Look at your next comment.
Huh. How many of y'all crying you didn't wait for the OmniX after watching my video? I'll name it the X-Tool Killer. It's awesome. Well, I'll let you know if it's an X-Tool Killer. because I have the F2 UV laser sitting, F2 Ultra UV laser sitting right beside this one, actually. And I was trying very hard to make sure it didn't appear on camera while I was recording on the X.
That might be
but
bad.
Yeah, the F2 Ultra UV is 5 watts. Now, I don't know if they're going to have a 10 watt, or I would imagine at some point they will, but the one I have is 5 watts anyway. And it's next on my list.
Raj, you want to take this one?
Chris saying I use my bamboo AMS for multi-filaments rather than color, as I do. Okay, occasionally I'll do them with multicolor, but mostly it's multi-filaments. Winning and delivery of a IBOS 3D 4-roll dryer. Well,
So
there you go.
Roger, the multi-filaments, that's the ones where it's automatically a bunch of different colors in it, right? It keeps changing?
No, multi-filament is, I could load an AMS with 4 rolls of white.
Yeah.
And
So
if one runs out, it goes
This
to the
is
next one.
what I use an AMS for. So I have PLA in most of one, and PETG or some other filament in most of the other one.
So Roger, what's that? The filament then that's like the multicolor, like it goes like green, blue, like you see everyone making those dragons with.
Yeah, it's just rainbow colored.
Yeah,
I actually made some of those dragons, Roger. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Everyone's making those dragons. They're selling crazy.
I didn't want to do it, but it was somebody challenged me. So let me share my screen here while we're waiting for Roger. It's a good way to get rid of just like scrap filament at the end, right? Like, because they don't use a ton of filament. Here, let me show you. See, I actually built a couple of these, Roger.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
And the problem with these little ones in the front was they don't use enough filament to get to a color transition. Like in the copper colored one here, you can just see his toes are a little bit lighter. So I printed the longer one, the dragon, just so I could get an actual color change. But they don't really use enough filament to do.
You're going to show that roll,
like color transition.
Blow this one over. Okay, this one is it's called Chameleon Mirror Chrome. So as you turn it, of course, my lighting down there is horrible. My studio lights on, but this is one of them articulated lizards too. It looks like the same pattern that Rick had, but this is what filament looks like on the roll. This is just a partial one here, and this is made by Strong Hero 3D. Chameleon Mirror Chrome is what it's called.
Yeah, they must have pretty short transitions, right?
Yeah.
Like the stuff I was using was pretty long between transitions. So
that's what people like, and I've made a lot of these. The granddaughter sells them. Is as you turn them in the light, they change color.
Yeah, very cool looking. Every single event that I see, every kind of little toy that have those things, the kids are just buying them.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're printing them in PLA, it's not so bad. But if you're printing them in something like PETG, they're an environmental disaster, right? Like we're just making landfill.
Yeah.
At least PLA is biodegradable.
So that filament, that rainbow color, how much is that roll, Roger?
It was probably $20.
So I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't know this, that in the Bamboo software, how if you're using legit bamboo, when it scans it, it actually will tell you the price it costs to print something.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
But you can do that with other filaments too if you want.
Yeah, you can do it with other slicers too. You just put in there how much your filament costs per gram, and it'll calculate your cost.
It's cool.
But you never think of that anyway.
Well, I just think as a noob, if you're trying to sell something, you should at least know what it costs to make.
Yeah, well, the filament is the minimal piece of the cost, right? It's the time. Because like that long dragon I had, or the one Roger showed you, is probably like 2.5 hours or something print.
That one was done on Ender 3v3, and that's a 4-hour print.
Yeah.
If I do it on the bamboo, I can do it in 2.
Yeah, it's still crazy though.
But it's a good thing to do when your printer's sitting there idle, right? If you know you can
Yeah.
sell these things, you just go, okay, I'll make a bunch of these things while I wait.
Right.
There you go.
How much do you think that uses? Like a quarter, a 16th of like nothing on that roll?
Well, this used 1.5. The Long Dragon used 1.5 filament transitions for me, which is about probably 5 feet of filament. Like they don't use very much. Like
No,
they're
doesn't take much.
practically hollow on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's very little infill on them. What was
Chris
neat
said
about
nah.
them is this is not something that you can injection mold. This has to be
Yeah.
printed like this so it will articulate and move and turn the head and tail and kids just love to fidget with them. Just love it.
Yeah, because it is something that they can't go to a store and buy, right? Like it's just
Yeah, the one thing that I saw a lot of people making is these bling necklaces, like the big chains. They wear them to like games. But I was surprised there were so many people selling on Facebook Marketplace because they're selling like official NFL teams and official NBA teams, and it's like, dude, man, that's easy way to get sued.
Yeah, way to get caught.
If you're using them for yourself, they're not going to sue you. But as soon as
Yeah,
you put
but
them
like
up
I
in a
say, if you're
store
doing it for
somewhere,
yourself or if you're giving it to a relative or something, that you can do that. But boy, you can't sell that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're going to get into printing bling chains, Rick?
No. I was just so
Big clock on the on the chain.
I think good at hey Rick, get yourself some gold filament. Go back and watch the A-Team a few times.
There you
Get
go.
some of them Mr. T chains.
I could sell some fake grills, right?
Yeah.
Give Paul Wall a run for his money.
You could get the Mr. T haircut. Oh, well, maybe not.
The mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say I definitely could not do that.
Yeah, you're running out of time if you want to
so
mohawk.
I went to Facebook Marketplace and just put 3D print and then went to 250 miles. That's just the max. And I was just looking at what are people selling in my area? What are they selling for? And then looking at the reviews, how many they're actually selling of. And I saw a lot of them. They call them like bling chains. And I just couldn't believe it. Like there's a lot of people selling it. And like, I know people see people selling things, so they jump on the bandwagon. But if you own a house, you might have trouble keeping it if they came after you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're selling anything trademarked, you're putting yourself at risk.
Santa's Laser Engraving said, still looking at the Flash Forge ADX5, but I think I may ultimately join the Bamboo group. Got to make sure a decision before the present price goes away.
Yeah, there'll be some Black Friday sales or something for sure. But I looked at this Flash Forge. They asked me if I wanted to test one, and it looks interesting, but it's quite a bit smaller than like the workspace is quite a bit smaller. The regular bamboos are like 250 millimeter square, Roger. Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I am very glad I got the H2D just because the workspace is over 300.
So, Roger, what's the obviously the price besides the biggest difference between the version that HD Pro and the ones you're using is just the dual nozzle?
The dual nozzle of the HD Pro's got a larger work area.
Yeah. So you can get the H2S, which is the single nozzle version of the H2D. So you get the big work area, but only one nozzle. If I was buying a second one, I'd probably buy one of those. Just for kind of offloading jobs, but I don't know if and when I'll buy a second one.
So when I went to look at the HD Pro, you couldn't even purchase it from their website. You had to click on the link, email them inquiry, and then they send you to an authorized seller.
Yeah, because it's a business 3D printer, right?
Yeah, it's commercial. It's commercial printer.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like the commercial version of the H2D.
I was just surprised they wouldn't sell direct on their website. That's all I was surprised of.
Nah, they're setting up a network and
Yeah.
they want to make sure all their reps get money, right?
Sales. So that's cool. But yeah, so I guess I'll be buying it, getting it local from Chicago. Beam me
That's
up, Laser
easier.
Graven said, make sure you smash that like button, everyone. Come on, show us some love.
Yep.
Show us some love.
Well, like them shoes.
So these are actually they're not my design. Let me get the design for you because they're on Maker World, and
He's not showing the other
same,
side with the big swoosh symbol on it.
well, you can find those on Maker World too, but like if you just go to Maker World and search for shoes, you'll see them pretty quickly.
So how did
But
you
the guy who
size?
designs these actually seems to design shoes for a living, and these ones are the bubble berries, and then he also has ones that look much more like running shoes that are called the whale berries.
And they're free download, or you bought that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, what's cool about Maker World is it's Bamboo site, right? So
Yeah, it's free.
if you have a Bamboo printer, you can search for something and go, oh, put it into my Bamboo slicer, and I'll just push the go button. Like all the settings, everything is done for you.
Nice. Chris said I can run my A1 or carbon with either e-glue or Bamboo slicers.
Yep. Yeah, because they're both Orca slicer.
Yeah.
Tony
So
said,
Steve, how did you size your shoes to fit you?
So they actually have. So as it happens, my foot was the default size, but they have he has a sizing chart there which tells you how to scale it.
Huh.
And the next ones I'm going to make a half size, like so they're size 43 European size, which is like a size 10 in US. And I'm going to go to a 43 and a half. That's the nice thing about European sizes. The changes are much smaller, right?
So have you actually put them on and wore them?
Yeah, I wear them all day yesterday, all day today in my shop. I just finished them like on Tuesday. So
how did they feel?
They're comfy. You have to wear socks in them though, which is just kind of a problem for me because I don't normally wear socks anywhere unless I'm, going to the city. But they're like if you go and look at the design on Maker World, he has a cross section of how the shoes are, and there's like 3 different values of infill in particularly the heel. So there's like a firm part, which is the sole, a squishy part, which is just for flex, and then I'll say a less squishy part, which is inside the shoe where your foot goes. So it's quite an intricate design.
So now if you made them out of that shiny stuff that Roger made that dragon, you might be pretty stylish, huh?
Well, they do make that rainbow TPU.
Yeah, that's it. They do.
I think I'm going to print another. So he has 2 styles of these. One has this kind of grainy pattern on them, and the other ones are quite a bit smoother. So I think I'm going to print some smooth ones now too.
So how much did it cost to print that?
It's about almost a full roll of TPU. So $20-$30. 20
for two shoes or one?
Both. You can print them both. Well, on an H2D, you can print both shoes at the same time.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool.
Depending on, like if you're printing on an A1, which you can also print them on, you're only going to get one shoe at a time. And they print up at a like these ones, they actually print like this.
Oh, wow.
On an H2D, but on other printers, they'll print at a funny angle and you'll have all these supports. And I used PLA support on them. So literally, I pulled the shoe off the printer and all the support stayed there. And it was nice, clean, because PLA is great for support on TPU.
Sanders Lived Engraving said, we have to celebrate my wife's December 25th birthday 2 weeks early so she can have an actual birthday. Yes, Mrs. Claus is born on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's great.
Well, my great granddaughter was born on the day after Christmas.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have a friend who was born on Christmas Day, and it's just brutal. like
ripped out of your birthday gifts.
Well, you know, they go, well, here's your Christmas gift, and yeah, well, you know, it's your birthday, but we'll just call it all one gift. Right?
Yeah.
So you get robbed every year.
Trade Skills Anonymous said, I've fallen into the Graffinity rabbit hole and can't get up.
Yeah.
Has anyone used the Trace AI with success to create tool holders?
I haven't tried it. I've been tempted.
Yeah, me too. I haven't used it either, but yeah, I'm all about grid. So I did a whole bunch of Gridfinity stuff for kitchen drawers. In fact, I have some right here. In fact, so all my like forks and knives and stuff, I designed a whole perfect. The nice thing about it is you can make it perfectly fit something, right? Like a drawer, and so I use that for any of the drawer things, and then multi-board for everything else.
Well, then I got fancy with my Gridfinity stuff for holding my hot ends. I actually went 2-color.
Ooh.
So that, you know, it's all Gridfinity. It then holds my hot end and the silicone sleeve and the screws, and then that fits into the grid.
You, do you know what that is, Roger? That's making something just because you can.
Yeah.
Why'd you
Once
make
you
that?
once you get into the Gridfinity thing, and the other thing too is I have a huge assortment of metric hardware, and they have this whole set of, you know, for nuts and screws and washers, and they're all labeled, you know, M3x4, M3x8, and so on. And well, I made the whole set, so I've got a whole drawer full, and I got all my hardware in them little Gridfinity bins. I mean, it's great.
Nice.
And the neat thing is, I used up a whole bunch of filament ends to do it. I mean, nothing matches the color, but I don't care for that.
These two scraps. Yeah, that's cool. Redouille said, I had a friend with an anniversary on May 1st. Told her it was their favorite spring date, but his thought was he'd always remember
Mayday, Mayday.
Dad joke.
Yeah.
Trade
Trade
Skills
Anonymous says, using tool trace, I get numerous errors, and when it does work, I get super lousy lines and tracings of the tools. Like I said, I have not tried that yet. I have been tempted, but just haven't had the time.
Yeah, I don't really have a desire to make sure everything fits in its place. So tool tracing doesn't really do it for me. But one of these days, I'll get ambitious and say, oh, I want my pliers to fit in the plier slot.
So you're saying, how would you do this tool trace?
You take a photo of the thing you want to put in there, and then you can trace it, and it will build a Gridfinity tray for it.
Within Graffinity software, or what software is doing that?
Within this Trace AI software.
Okay. And
like I've watched a few videos and it looks pretty cool, but then I look at it and go, well, like your print heads there, or your nozzle, Roger. In that space, you could just throw a handful of nozzles, right? Or you could have one that's perfect that looks like you know it was shipped that way.
Well, I can go even farther with it. Where I can get you one that holds the cutters and the nozzles and grease.
I know, I've seen them.
Just because you can.
Yeah.
I saw this guy's video today. I was watching. He made a door holder that clipped on his wall, and then caught the door handle.
Yep.
And then the screws that he used to screw it to the wall, he put a clip that looked like a Lego and clipped into it to cover the screw holes. And he says, yeah, I know you could have a door, you know, on the floor thing, just like everybody else, but you start making things just because you can, right?
Yeah.
And then for the other size hot ends, you got this one here. Got spots for the silicone socks here. Then I can stack another tray on top of that one.
Yeah, that's the thing with these. They're nice, and you can design them so they're stackable.
ABT Marketing said, hello, I'm here. Hello. Thank you for joining.
I saw on Maker World, somebody did a set of drawer slides, but for multi-board, so you can have your multi-board slide out.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's complete overkill. It's like super
Yeah.
over engineering, but like there's like, well, I mean, you know what a drawer slide looks like anyway. There's a ton of pieces in it. It's kind of like that, but then you have to put it together. But it's kind of perfect for multi-board, which I think is interesting. But
Harold said, "What's up, boys? Pookie ski in the house?
you still can't say that. Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie. There you go.
Poughkeepsie's in the house.
Okay, speaking of 3D printer, you guys familiar with Kitty or know about it? Yes, I used to have a Kitty Galaxy 3, and there's nice and closed Core XY printer, nothing wrong with it. It was just too small of a format for what I do, so that got sold, and as I moved everything up to the bigger bamboo printers. But there's nothing wrong with Kitty products. They're, good printer.
Yeah, I had the small one, and I love that thing. It's cheap too, and I actually gave it to my nephew. He was visiting me, and he said, "Oh, I want to get into 3D printing." It's like, here, take this one, and he's been printing up a storm with that thing. So I mean, it had a lot of miles on it when I gave it to him.
Roger, I have to ask you, because you obviously have a print farm, literally. When you first bought a 3D printer, was that your intentions, or did that just become kind of like the lasers?
It was kind of like the laser business. It became by accident. I started making a few things, and then I got lasers, and then I started to, I want to make risers for them, and that's, these things here, that's a huge business for us. I make risers for all different kinds of lasers and mounts, and then that just snowballed, and I had so then I bought another 3D printer. Well, then I couldn't keep up, and for a while I had a dozen of them. All bed slingers, but now that I got these bamboos and the Anycubic Cobra over there, and of course I got my A1s over on the other side, I can keep up just fine now with what I got.
Yeah, you
Steve,
start.
what are your intentions?
You start to think you need another 3D printer when you want to print something, but the one you have is busy.
Yeah.
So you buy another one, right? And I think this is a conspiracy in the 3D printer business. They could probably make something that could print these shoes I did in like an hour, but no, if they take 4 days, that means I got to buy like 4 more printers, right?
So Steve, what was your intention of buying? Was it just literally for hardware usage in your shop?
For me, well, I've always had, but as soon as I could buy a 3D printer, I had one. So it's been, I don't know, 12 years, 10 years. And it's parts for me. Like every time I need something, right, I'll just go design it and print something.
Nice.
It doesn't get surreal until you use a 3D printer to print all the parts for the next generation of a 3D printer. Like I built a Core XY printer when everybody was still, thinking bed slingers were the ultimate. I built one because most bed slingers are like 60 millimeters a second or something. So I built I designed a Core XY printer that would print at 300, and now of course they print 600, but that was 8 years ago when nobody else had a Core XY printer. So crazy. It was just about kind of pushing the envelope and
yeah, I think it's definitely when you start seeing our military and stuff really starting to introduce that, especially the Navy. You're on a ship in the middle of nowhere
because they can't get Amazon delivery in 2 days, right?
Right. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I don't know if they get these drones, they might be able to drop it off over the ship and take off.
Well, they're going to have a long-range drone if they're in the middle of the Pacific.
Beam Me Up Laser Engraving said, prediction 2025 as a revolutionary year for making 3D printers and laser engraving. Steve, Rick, and Roger, you're the best.
Well, thank you.
I'll tell my wife you said that because she doesn't think I'm the best.
Yeah, we'll have to take a picture of this just so I could show my wife.
Yeah.
Here you go. Look at that. Bam.
Let me just do a screen cap here.
There you go. But yeah, I keep saying that. I remember when printers were really just commercial use, right? These very large printers. It wasn't something. Then
Yep.
these desktop printers came out, and uh, the bamboo printers, they're phenomenal, but I don't think they're practical. And what I mean is, I don't think you would buy that just to have it for your kids in your house. It's more someone who wants to do a business or someone who has enough money that could be a toy, right? But it's not at the price level yet that it'll be in every house. But I think at some point that's going to be the norm.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're like the H2D, while you're looking at them, right? The H2D from a hobby perspective is perfect for someone, I'll say like me, who has more money than brains. You see it and you go, okay, I'll just buy one of those. But for a regular hobbyist, like the A1, I looked long and hard at the A1 and thought maybe I'll buy one of those because I didn't think I was going to be doing much more than printing the occasional mount for a camera or something in my studio. But like I said, I'm glad I got the H2D just because on an angle. So when I did my kitchen drawers, I had to print a long Gridfinity box for the like all the knives, the butcher knives, and that thing's 14 inches long. Well, if you do the math, you can get a 1U Gridfinity 14-inch thing on the across the corner of an H2D, which you couldn't do with any of the other bamboo printers.
Yeah, that the HD, they wanted $3,685.03
For the Pro
No, for the
H2D.
yeah, Bamboo Lab HD2 Pro.
Oh, that's the Pro. Yeah, that one's more.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a whole lot of advantage though, from especially if it's in your house. I don't think there's a lot of advantage to buying the Pro over the regular H2D.
I laughed about the only time that I hear my wife or her family sound Canadian is when they say house.
House. I could say has.
Say house. Say house, Steve.
House. It's the Queen's English, man. What do you want me to do?
There you go.
Oh, the King's English now. I guess he took over.
Now, Harold's saying as I was holding that, I know what he's talking about. Talking about this guy right here. You see an adult toy market in the future. No.
Yikes.
You know what's
There's a
funny
lot of
is
spines on the back of that thing.
Yeah.
we always talk about being asked to review things that have nothing to do with what we review. And that's been the thing that people have been asking me lately. And I'm like, what makes you think I'd want to do that?
I don't know. For an adult toy, I might have to try to do that in TPU.
I did have some company reach out to me that was selling adult toys, and I showed this email to my wife. I said, "What do you think? Should I do this?" It's like as it is, there's the occasional video where I kind of push off the line of what my channel's about, but that would be just so far off the horizon, right?
We had one, I think it was about a year ago, they had this bamboo underwear that they wanted me to demonstrate and promote. And besides the regular, boxer looking ones, they had some that I call them banana hammocks. And I was kidding my wife about it. And she says, "You're not going to do that, are you?" I said, "Well, no, not doing that. Nobody wants to see some 68-year-old guy in a banana hammock." So
there you go.
There you go. Chris says, Roger, you can do a negative mohawk.
Yeah. Negative image
up on the sides.
I saw this video of this dad, and he said his son got his ears pierced without his permission. And he asked his son, "Why did you do it?" And he said, "I wanted to look older." So he shaved the top of his head. Made him go to school like that as punishment. Crazy.
Dads can be cruel.
Trades Anonymous. Chris said, "Trades Anonymous. I use the trace function from Lightburn, then export it. It's the best tracer I have without paying for full graphic program."
And I do that too quite a bit. I use the trace function in Lightburn, then export the SVG and do other things with it.
Inkscapes is okay. I use the Kittle one, which is amazing, but it costs money. Actually, it's probably available in the free version of Kittle. Someone can try it.
Chris said, Santa, does she say she's your Christmas present? Probably.
Oh, I thought you were clapping again. It's just Roger.
I know. I heard that too. I thought the same exact thing. I was like,
just
that
Roger
wasn't me. I
drinking.
thought you guys
Those are ice cubes sliding in my glass. My water glass is about empty there.
There you go.
Drinking his tall rum and coke.
It said, must be nice to print your own shoes. My shoes is 16, so I'm out of luck.
You just need a bigger printer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the reason I was asking about how you size them was because I wear an 11 triple E. So I got to have that width.
Well, because you can scale them, you can scale on any axis independently, right?
Roger's that guy said he might not bottom it out, but he bet he stretched them walls.
These are actually pretty wide anyway. Like I have wide feet too, but
you did like the joke, Roger? My uncle used to say that all the time. He said he was hung like a tuna can. Beam me up, laser Graven said it. I just wanted to thank you all for taking the time to help us all. I've engraving a break for a while, but after for the new upgrade models coming out in 2026. Sorry, I'm dyslexic and sometimes it trips me up a little bit.
Well, that's a tongue twister anyway.
Yeah.
Waiting for new upgraded models in 2026.
You know, I honestly expected with this whole Black Friday, Christmas, I kind of was holding off on the whole 3D thing because I thought prices would drop. But I understand the whole tariff thing's kind of scaring manufacturers off. So, you know, I get it.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of slowed things down a bit. That's all. So as far as things coming out in 2026, I don't know what's out there. I mean, the Alien Cell is coming. There's what's the other one that's like a diode laser, so it's got a gantry, but when you get close to where you need to be, it turns into a galvo. What's that one? That one's coming too. That one I'm less excited about, but
well, then We Create's coming up with the Lumos. I'm going to be doing a review.
Well, they've had that one for a while, a few months. I don't know what they're
it's an alpha. It's still an alpha.
Is it? Because it's been there's been reviews out there for quite a while.
Yeah, it's great. Trade Skill Anonymous said, thanks, Chris. I'll try that. The AI tool is a bit buggy and more time consuming than I thought it would be.
Which is ironic given that it's supposed to speed you up, right?
It said it generates a Gridfinity shape in the pockets for the tool. Yeah. That's becoming more and more of a thing, right? These Gridfinity things. Everyone's going crazy over them.
Oh, you get down the rabbit hole. Yeah, you'll be.
The first time it was mentioned, I was like, "What is that?" And now I hear people talking about it at work.
Yeah, I've got like drawers full of Gridfinity now.
now that you're getting a 3D printer, once you get into that, you'll be down the rabbit hole too.
You know what I did see on the Makerspace, like you can type into Walt and they have like every kind of tool holder.
Yeah.
And I told you I wanted to make that Walt so I can get all my tools out of the DeWalt Tough cases. I thought that'd be cool.
That's what I have in my shop. Is all my DeWalt tools are mounted to a wall.
They probably have all those DeWalt tool holders for multi-board too. And you can just print multi-board is like the ultimate pegboard.
Okay.
And you can print, there's like millions of things. Like I printed an entire set of drawers for things, and you can configure the size of them and the length, the depth, and they're in the bottom of my 3D printer cabinet. I've got a whole set of drawers in there.
So the rabbit hole I go is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So immediately buy a few spools of whatever color you want something to be, because you're going to print lots of stuff
Okay.
with Gridfinity.
So general hot ends, what's the difference between and what are they made out of? A specific hot end for different filaments? I stick with one particular hot end, and that is hardened steel. I do not use brass hot ends anymore on anything.
No.
Of course, way back when I first started 3D printing, that was your only choice. And
Do you
brass
have the-
hot ends wear out quickly.
Do you have the high flow bamboo nozzles or hot ends?
I have one. I
Yeah,
haven't used it yet.
Oh, I was going to say, is it significantly faster? E3D just came out with a bamboo hot end too. They say is even faster. But I don't know how fast you have to go. You push the button and you go for a coffee and lunch and a nap, and you come back a day later.
Have you tried printing anything at ludicrous speed yet?
No, I don't care how fast it goes. Right, like I just start it and I go away and I do something else.
It's really just do a benchy at ludicrous speed.
Yeah,
What's a
but
benchy?
it turns out like crap, right?
A benchy is a little boat that tests all of the functions of a printer. And, you know, how if you're going to get stringing and how the layers lay, and I've got a whole rack of them up here.
Yeah, I usually have.
I'm looking for a fiber laser for metal, and for transparent acrylic and glass engraving. How about it?
You're out of luck for transparent acrylic. If you want to cut metal, look at a Titan 100-watt. Yeah, there's a benchy. That one's.
Yeah, I did this one in 3 colors.
I was gonna say it's
just because I could.
Colorful.
Yeah, I think you're wishful thinking. That's 3 lasers.
Yeah, ironically, yeah, it's as complex as you can get. So glass engraving, you're really looking at a UV.
Yep.
Transparent acrylic, CO2, and for metal, fiber laser.
Nothing less than a 60-watt.
Yeah. Now there is what's the new one that came out? There's a X Laser Lab or something. They have one they say does all of these things. I don't know how realistic that is, but
the one thing I always say is that anytime anything's a multi something, it's not the best of any of them.
Yeah, it's usually the worst at all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second, guys.
Beam Me Up says, Chris, you've been learning. You've been learning. Is engraving and 3D printing your full-time job? I remember you here from 2 years ago. Well, 3D printing has been around a while, so he could have been doing this for 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah, hey guys, I got bad news. I have to drop early.
Okay.
My son's he's not feeling well. He's still that's coming down. When I come down, I have to go give my wife.
You gave him the plague.
We both, yeah. I'm feeling better, but he's burning up. So I'm gonna go give my wife a hand.
But, all right, man.
30 minutes left in the live, guys. Thanks for joining. Stephen Rogers.
You'll have to shut us down at some point.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll jump in the chats. I'm just gonna put him to bed.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Talk to you.
So Chris says, I see Skylar was losing the joy due to sales of items that she lost interest in. So is going back to not worrying about sales. Yeah, well, people focus too much.
I read her post today. A lot of the acrylic templates she was selling, because of the quantity and it became what she considered to be more of a job than pleasure. Of course, my whole thing is mass production, so
so you can pick up her business.
I've got the other end of that. I hate doing 1 and 2, one off or something like that. But somebody wants 100 or something. Yeah, I'm all over that.
Yeah, see, I'm with Skylar. I tend to build 1 of something, or or a whole bunch of the same thing for one person. But never just, selling coasters randomly up on my website. Jim said, Jim has a question for you, Roger.
Yeah, actually, where do I sell my products? Mostly, I would say 90% is B2B, direct. And the other 10%, I do sell like these laser mounts like this. We have a website called moonshinecrafts.com. And we sell that type of thing on there. And a few of the other little odds and ends. But mostly what I do is in quantity, en masse, and B2B. I mean, I don't do craft shows except for 2 weeks ago. I did one
Send
anyway.
your daughter for that, right?
Yeah.
All the best marketing, ABM marketing, we'll still use his old name. I think what Steve said about conspiracy goes for all manufacturers. I think so too. Whether it's 3D printers, engravers, CNC, DTG printers, DTF printers, embroidery machines. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like they're trying to get you to buy another one of what you already bought a lot of times. Which is fine. If it's like bamboo, I'd have no trouble buying another bamboo 3D printer because, hey, it's great. And I'd only buy another one because I needed another one, as opposed to, like you'll see 3D printers aren't quite so bad. And they used to be, but they're not so bad anymore. Laser engravers, this was my gripe about diode lasers, is they'll build you a laser. And I mean, people who are already talking about, buying the Omni 1 instead of the Omni X, they sell you one and then they come out with something better, right? And then they tempt you, and it's just, I mean, I guess they got to innovate, but it's kind of a sleazy way to do things. But I don't know. I mean, I think if you have like an Omni 1, I don't think you'd have any trouble selling it to buy an Omni X if you wanted to buy an Omni X.
My thing with like the 3D printers, and I've got one I'm going to give to my granddaughter over here. It's my very last Gravity printer that I still have. I'm going to be replacing it with a bamboo printer. It might be HUD, but otherwise,
Okay.
I don't really need any more the printers. I can keep up just fine with what I've got.
Yeah. Figured you'd go for the new P2S.
I actually was kind of looking at it, but
yeah, it wouldn't be a bad second printer for me. Well,
and
I got
do
5 printers, but I only use the bamboo now.
And I do have the Anycubic Max Pro up in the loft up there if I want to make something really big. So I may not necessarily need the HUD. The dual nozzle is kind of intriguing.
Yeah, I'm going to test the Anycubic has this P1 printer. It's a resin printer. But the cool thing about it is you can print 2 different colors of resin at the same time. So 2 different jobs.
Oh.
On the same plate. It's kind of a industrial business type laser designed for dentists, so they can print the plate on one side and the teeth on the other side for doing testing, like fit, before they send them out and cut them out of glass or whatever they make teeth out of. I guess it's ceramic or something. So that's probably a late December, early January kind of time frame. All the best says I see that all the time on YouTube. Yeah, it's YouTubers. We're awful people sometimes, but it's always, hey, look at you. I did a video last week on this, but look at this new thing, right? That's not the intent, but that's how it seems to work out. And out. I don't know. Did we lose Harold? You can take this one, Roger.
No, I'm still learning so I can help others to find solutions to look at problems in a different way. Yeah, that's a good point. And, I try to mentor new users and try to help them out any way I can. I know Steve does the same thing.
I have one set up for next week. In fact, bit of a crash course lesson for someone I know on how to use fiber lasers. And
Ice Cube's in a tumbler. Now we know how to make an applause sound clip. There we go.
that's what it sounded like. It sounded like you were.
I can do it again here.
It wasn't. Yeah, you didn't reproduce it. Not as good as
Well,
the first time.
My ice is
No
melting.
liquid left in there. That's why.
No, not much left.
Santa's laser engraving says Chris. Sometimes she would like to regift. This was the Chris being her Christmas present, or vice versa. Maybe she wants to be someone else's gift. Oh. Did you test the Gweike 50-watt fiber laser or closed models? I haven't.
I don't have a fiber laser, so no.
I mean, I don't mind my fiber laser not being closed in, but the Omni, I like the fact that it's in a case.
So Harold's asking, why is Skylar not on our lives anymore? She needed to drop out for her family and business reasons, but
her daughter was cheering or cheer or something. Yeah,
she has
and
family
she doesn't
activities.
like us, so I'm weeping. We miss Skylar. Skylar was great, and if you join our Facebook group, which you're seeing scrolling across the bottom there. She posts all her stuff that she works on there, and she does some pretty cool things.
Yeah, her work is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, well, she's got something that I sorely lack, which is imagination.
Okay, TTC 1940 is asking, is my B2B using a website or Etsy? I'm struggling as to where to market. It is neither. Neither? It is by word of mouth, because of the different people I've worked with, or somebody will say, where'd you get that? And they'll say, well, Roger made it. And well, who's that? And they'll give them my number, and then, they'll say, hey, we like these coasters, made, how much is it be for a couple hundred of them? Or the round to it, or, there's tumblers, a lot of things we make that it works real well B2B, and I'm not paying any commissions anywhere. It's just, and what I really like is when they pay me in cash.
Keep that tax man out of the way.
Yeah.
What money? Chris says, if I was a laser manufacturer, I would innovate a new model for each. As a laser buyer, I want a bunch of innovations at once. Yeah, it's a cost thing. I think it's pretty expensive to do this kind of work. And so, like, when companies like Alien Cell come out and they say, hey, we got this new thing where, like, they have kind of built-in accurate positioning on their workspace for jobs. That's kind of cool, but I bet you that was not an easy thing to develop. A lot of software tricks going on in there. Oh, Harold was making fun of my accent. Oot. How's that? Oot and a boot.
Beam me up laser engraving is to Chris. It's honestly, one man's need is different to another. If there isn't a one machine that does everything, fix. One of each, you work with different materials. And I do too. I got a fly down here. It's driving me crazy. And that season's supposed to be over. We're not supposed to have flies. Much less down here.
You can print yourself a fly swatter.
I actually did that once.
Or you can go to the dollar store and buy one for like $1.
So Michael is asking, do I use that Farm Loop app to do large print quantities of the same type of prints. No, I don't. I print things in batches and the next batch, because my batches, I fill the bed, literally fill the bed. So I'm looking at a 12-hour print time usually. So I just let it, run, and I'll come down the next morning and clear it off and hit reprint, because I can do it right off the screen on the carbon printers. I don't even need to mess with the computer.
So you don't sit at your desk and watch your screen and monitor all your printers at the same time?
No, if once in a while, if I would get something that the LiDAR is saying, this don't look right, I'll get a notification on my phone, and then I'll come down and I'll look at the printer, and with one exception, it's just kind of been a false alarm. One time I had spaghetti.
That's the one reason for, Bamboo went through this hell of 8 months ago where everybody thought that they were going to spy on people or whatever. But that's the one nice thing about having using their cloud accounts rather than standalone, because you can get notifications to your phone and know what things are happening, right? So you don't have to stand there and watch the thing, although it's always cool to watch a 3D printer print something. But like I've been shopping or something at like a hardware store, and I get a notification from my printer, and I can actually look at my printer from there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Beam. Chris says yes. Yep. Beam. I have lots of machines for the same reason. Well, I guess that's the, one's busy, so I'll just go to the next one, right?
Well, I've got since I have the advantage of having so many lasers, I have one laser set up to do, for example, slate coasters. Another was set up to do cork. Another was set up to do ceramic. Another was set up to do wood cutting. Actually, several companies do wood cutting. We did a lot of it. But it's nice that you don't have to go reconfigure your laser for anything. It's just all set up. Just plug and play.
I had to go look up the answer to the next question here. Redu says he's asking me, because I use Kittle, how does it compare to Cuddle?
Never heard of that one.
I've never used either, so I don't know if they're the same or even similar. So Kittle is more of a graphics design application, and Cuddle looks like it's really just for building SVG cut files. Now, there's a place for both of those. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just anything I'm going to cut, I use Fusion to make designs. But although there might be a reason, looking at this Cuddle, there might be a reason to look at it, because it does make some things easier that are a little more challenging in Fusion. Where'd we go? There we go.
Well, I was talking about what Skylar made, the Interloop Cross. So simple, but look complex. And it was a beautiful piece of work.
It looked awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm not capable of making.
Now, Beam Me Up Laser Graver says a machine is only as good as the person operating it. It's like giving a man who's never used an axe versus giving an axe to a professional woodcutter.
Yeah, this applies to pretty much everything. Right?
Yeah,
it's like it's the teach a man to fish model. Harold loves it. What did I say?
I get a lot of stuff from my channel viewers. Well, I got this laser and I put this in, and it goes and runs all over the place, doesn't do anything, and they give me their settings. Well, I say, you running in millimeters per minute or millimeters per second?
Yeah, we've all made that mistake.
Yeah, usually they're trying to run millimeters per second, and if you're trying to cut something at let's say 100% power and 500 millimeters per minute, you put a 500 millimeters per second in, you're lucky if you're ever going to get a line.
or keep your laser stable.
Yeah. Oh, he thinks all the flies migrated to Perth. I don't know. That one down there is being damn annoying.
Lies. Harold says the company I used to work for, Precision Valve, they had the nicest people. They all love all those guys in Ajax, Ontario. I used to live north of Ajax in Ottawa, but been to Ajax numerous times. It's kind of a industrial community outside of Toronto.
So where did Rick go? Drive by? No, his son is feeling under the weather.
And Beam Me Up has donated $2. $2 Australian. That's like real money. Enough to buy an Australian beer. Maybe. Not a good one.
Here we go. Dad joke. Wanted the cowboy get a dachshund? You want to get a long little doggy? Say, get along, little doggy.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 10 minutes left here. If you got any questions or comments or anything, post them up there. We'll be glad to review them and talk about them.
Are you back to shop work again, Roger? Or are you still making candy boards?
No, we have shipped. Yeah, we've shipped a whole ton of them, and fortunately, I'm done with that for a few months again. So now I'm working on Christmas ornaments for some projects, and here's one of them here. Little laser cut angel that children will in a daycare will color however they want. And then we've done a bunch of these snowflakes like this here. And then we have done a bunch of Christmas trees that are 2-piece. So it's kind of like a 3D look. And the kids will color those. And big market with the daycare centers. They just love this stuff because it's simple projects. They use water-based markers so that if the kids decide to color each other.
And they will.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Beam Me Up says he's got a question about the Omni X. Well, don't hesitate. Yeah. Put it in the comments there. Yeah, I might do a Christmas video, some Christmas decorations too. We'll see. I want to do a project video for the F2 because it's definitely. I mean, it's tuned to building little projects like that, right? So I might do something. We'll see. How long does it take to do a crystal engraving? And is there ever faults in engraving inside of crystals? Well, so this little Harry Potter guy took, I don't know, it was like 15 minutes. It wasn't too fast. I could definitely make it faster than that. As far as faults, most of the faults I've had in crystal are my own. But I have seen, and I could post a picture at some point. I had a failed print, and I stopped it in the middle. It was a globe inside one of these little 2-inch cubes, and I stopped it in the middle. And all along the top edge of it, the glass looks like it's breaking, like it's slowly coming apart. And I think it's because I had the dwell time set too long, and like this Harry Potter guy, the dwell time was 100 microseconds. I think I was using about 800 microseconds on this thing, so it's basically sitting there cooking the glass inside. So it's like it doesn't get, there's not a lot of heat, but it's basically fracturing the glass. So if it's sitting there, it's just going to make it worse, and it's got a slow crack, and I fully expect it to come apart at some point in the future, because every day I look at it, it's been there for a week or so sitting on my table, and every day I look at it, this crack is a little bit bigger, so it's got a slow creep to it. I feel like putting some boiling water on it to see what happens. You not going to take that?
Oh, my question is, when we finish, do I start a 3D print, then laser with diode, CO2 fiber, or maybe CNC? Do not try to do a 3D print laser engrave with a diode. You're
Yeah.
you're gonna have melted mess. I've never tried it with CO2.
You get the same thing. So the problem with doing 3D prints with those kind of lasers is the surface gets hot. So you're making a 3D print, but you're doing it by burning the material away. This is why the UV lasers are so cool, right? Because it's not a burning process, it's an ablation process. So it's literally blowing little pieces of material away rather than burning it. And in the video I just put out today, I redid the mandala on the 10 watt Omni X, and I mean that thing's down, I don't know, 5 almost 10 millimeters in, and like even the 5 watt one looks spectacular, but the 10 watt one just looks like somebody spent hours chiseling away with with carving tools to make it.
I also wouldn't try CNC on a 3D print because unless you could slow that thing down to like 10 RPM, it's just going to melt the plastic.
Yeah. And laser is the same thing on a 3D print. Don't try and do that. Santa engraving, laser engraving says, so in a UV you have what settings? You have speed. So it depends what you're doing. Speed is something you'd have if you were doing engraving of something like text or some vector thing. But normally for something like an internal engraving in crystal, you'll have dwell time, which is loosely a calculation of speed, and frequency, and pulse duration. So pulse duration is how long is the pulse that you're hitting with. Frequency is how quickly are you doing that, or how often. And dwell time is once you get it there, how long are you staying there, just doing that. So you could have like a pulse duration of, I don't know, two nanoseconds, but the dwell time could be 800 microseconds. So it's doing 2 nanosecond pulses for 800 microseconds. And that, in a sense, controls how fast you're doing things. UV is actually pretty simple around frequency. If you leave the frequency, at least of a comm marker laser, if you leave the frequency at 40 kilohertz, that'll do almost everything. You don't really have to mess around too much with the frequency or the pulse duration. It's mostly dwell time to control how much power you put on things and how much speed. Your turn, Roger. Oh, wait, no, this is an Omni X question. Beam Me Up Laser says, fascinating. Put it in the freezer. Yeah, well, this is my cracked crystal. Another question of the Omni X. What do you rate it compared to other engravers? So I would only compare it to other UV laser engravers. It's from a capability perspective, it's almost equivalent to the Omni 1, but it's enclosed, and the one feature it has that the Omni 1 is missing is the ability to control the height, which allows you to do the internal engraving and autofocus, which is also very nice. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily compare one to the other. They're all like all 5-watt UV lasers. I guarantee you, they're probably all using the same laser control module, and the same laser module. So it's a case of whose name do you want on the outside of the box, for the most part. Trade Skillers Anonymous says UV on 3D prints. Yeah, well, yes, UV on 3D prints works amazingly. CO2 just melts it. UV works on everything, almost everything. There's not very many materials that you can't engrave with a UV laser, and that's its appeal. Now you won't get depth. Like it's not like a diode laser where you can engrave a chunk of wood and you can get down a couple of millimeters. You don't get that with a UV laser. But that's sometimes a benefit, especially when you're doing something like glass.
Oh, Chris is saying no, he meant start a 3D print, and then while it's printing, do other,
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's called multitasking. I do that almost every day.
Yeah, well, any 3D printer job is going to take at least an hour or more.
Yeah.
So start it. Like I go out to my shop at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're 5:30, and I'll start a job, and then by 8 o'clock, after I've said hello to my wife and had coffee and stuff, I go back out there and it's maybe finished.
When we get done with the live stream tonight, I'll start my printers up and then go to bed. And tomorrow morning I'll come down. Well, they still won't be done right in the morning, but they'll be later in the morning. I can unload them. So every one of those is going to at least 10 hours because I've got the beds loaded.
Geez, we're running out of time here. We're pretty much at time, so let me just whip through the rest of the questions here to see what we've got. Radu says, "Why did the cowboy?" It's another joke.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same joke. How far back did I go? Sorry, I'm looking at things here. So I think most of. So Harold, like the 10-watt laser video. Oh, there's Rick. He's here to shut us down anyway.